Module 6.3, Energy Resources. So here we'll talk about just a few different energy resources that we all use. First, the first law of thermodynamics, which states that either energy is neither created nor destroyed, but it moves from one form to another. So we say this is like the law of conservation of energy. It just means you can transform from one form to another, and we've noticed this from many examples like photosynthesis, changing the solar energy using the light and converting it into food and oxygen. Whenever we do combustion, as we've talked about in the previous video, you burn something and you create light and heat. When you eat some food, you digest the food, you take that energy from the food and you change it to mechanical or movement, or when you're breathing. So energy just changes from one form to another. And the second law of thermodynamics is the entropy of the universe is increasing. So as we talked about earlier, heat transfers from hot to cold. And what actually happens is the transfer from hot to cold, so the movement from the system to the surroundings, the molecules in the surroundings will also start to heat up. The cooler air will begin to rise or increase in movement, hence increase in entropy. So here we just have an image of how energy gets transformed from one form to another. So before the 1960s, wood was used as a major source of energy in the United States, but that transferred over to coal. And because they found that coal had a higher energy density, meaning that for every unit of coal, you can get more energy out of it, meaning a better efficiency. And as some of you know, the drawbacks of using coal or getting coal to transfer the energy is air pollution. We have this increase in greenhouse gases. Even know coal miners, it's very harmful for them, for their lungs, because of the working conditions that they have. So also in the 1950s, 60s, there was a movement from coal to oil as well, even a better form of energy, because the density for a given unit was even higher for oil. Also, comparing oil to coal, oil would emit less CO2s and hence be more environmentally friendly. So here we have a graph, petroleum being a major energy consumption, as you can see. Still, we'll talk about renewable energies, but there's a slight increase, but still relatively constant. Fracking is a way to extract oil and natural gas, where you actually inject high pressure mix of water and sand and chemicals into a well. I believe they have a well here, and this causes the rock down below to fracture and release gas and oil. And it's controversial because chemicals can get contaminated in the drinking water. It can cause air pollution. As you can see, it's a lots of energy, lots of moving parts in order to do fracking. Boiling points are an important point to consider when you go from a liquid to a gas. And we say the volatility of a liquid refers to how easily you can go from liquid to gas. And that's dependent on the intermolecular forces. So how well are the forces between molecules? So the stronger these forces are, the intermolecular forces, the higher the boiling point. And the companies use this advantageously for Where this point of different volatilities is taken advantage of by oil refineries, where they convert crude oil to gasoline and fuel. And here we have the distillation process, whereby you take the oil, and because they have different volatilities, you can see here the ones with the larger higher amounts of carbon, it takes more energy to boil or to become volatile. But if you increase the heat, you can see the lighter carbons are more volatile, and you can actually separate this out to make gasoline and fuel. You can see the different levels here on the right. Asphalt, industrial fuel, lubricants, etc., up to gasoline. If you take a barrel of oil, you can see how it's used. A lot of it is used for gasoline. It can use to heat up your home. You've seen trucks come to people's homes to heat up their homes, and other products as well. One movement that we've had is to use renewable energies, and that's always a battle that's ongoing. We've thought about using nuclear power as an energy source, renewable energies such as wind and solar, and biomass generation as well. So that's something that, there's an economic consideration, there's a environmental consideration, there's an efficiency consideration. So renewable energies is one way that we are moving forward with. And I won't talk too much more about this because it's still under much debate. And we'll leave it at there for chapter 6.